Hello again, guys. It is Alexander Krah back here with another dream journal for you. This one titled Nathan Drake Versus Sweeney Todd. So, a little bit of backstory on this dream. When I was in 10th grade, I had this class called Creative Writing. At one point during the school year, my teacher gave us a project where we had to pick any topic that interested us, and we had to write a paper on it. I chose dreams, or more specifically, dream interpretation. I got home and I got a notebook from the dress drawer in my bedroom. The project was due in 3 weeks, and I personally felt that I couldn't use an old dream as the dream to interpret in the paper. I had to use a dream fresh in my mind, one where I wouldn't forget a single detail. A couple nights later, I had a dream that to this day is one of the most exciting and amazing dreams I've ever had. I ended up using it on my paper and received an A. So without further ado, here's my 6th dream journal entry, Nathan Drake versus Sweeney Todd. The two forests used to be one. It was completely untouched by man, at least until someone decided they needed a faster way to get from point A to point B, and dug a dirt road through the middle of it. The dirt road now separated the two forests like a highway that separates two towns, one forest on the left and one on the right. As the dream started, I found myself walking along the right side of this very same dirt road. I could feel the hot sun beating down on my face and the dry dirt occasionally being blown up in my face by the wind. I squinted through dust and looked down to where the end of the road should be, but it seemed endless. "Are we going the right way?" came a voice from behind my left shoulder. I spun around and my eyes opened wide as I realized Nathan Drake from the video game Uncharted was walking right beside me. He had dust in his hair, which he occasionally reached up to brush out. I had no clue what he meant by that, so I just kind of ignored him and kept walking. "The treasure, is it up here?" I heard a sound coming from ahead and looked forwards again. I watched as a bus appeared a little ways down the road. It drove right next to us, kicking more dust into our faces. It was hard to see, but I definitely saw one of my best friends waving out of one of the windows as the bus drove by. "Yeah," I said. "Follow me." We only walked for a few minutes more before I noticed another road branching off to the right. My instinct told me to take it, so I did. This new road ended at the edge of a deep, circular mud pit, about 30 feet in diameter. In the center of this pit was a small island, with a treasure chest sitting right on top of it. I looked up at Nathan Drake, who was still next to me. He just smiled and nodded in the direction of the chest as if to say, "All yours." I stepped into the mud pit and sank down to my waist. It was hard to move at first, but I eventually started to make my way over to the island. It got a little deeper towards the end, almost reaching my shoulders, but I got there and hoisted myself out. I picked up the treasure chest and began to make my way back to Nathan Drake. It was a lot harder this time because I had to hoist the heavy chest over my head the whole time, but I made it. When I placed the chest down in front of Nathan Drake, he opened it so he could see what was inside. To my complete surprise, the chest was full of things I was very familiar with. I saw a copy of one of the older Pokemon games, maybe Crystal, and there are also some of my favorite movies and toys that I had when I was growing up. I soon realized that this treasure chest was actually full of things that belonged to me already. They were things that I valued, my treasures. Nathan Drake reached in and picked out a copy of Batman the Dark Knight on DVD. "Can I have this?" he asked. I grabbed it from him, shook my head no, and shoved it back into the chest, closing the lid after it. Nathan Drake stood up slowly and said, "Okay, let's go then." We left the chest sitting there and walked back to the dirt road. We continued on it for a little while longer, though strangely, the dirt seemed to morph into cobblestone, and the trees turned into tall buildings. For whatever reason, Nathan Drake and I had been transported to London. "He's just down the road here," said Nathan Drake. "He's dangerous, so we'll have to be careful. Do you have your gun?" I raised my eyebrow and looked down my right hip to find a pistol sitting in a holster there. I nodded slowly. "We're going to arrest him. He lives here. Let me go in first." Nathan Drake stepped up to the door of a 2-story, very skinny building and knocked. When there was no answer, he drew his gun and kicked the door in. Nathan looked around the first floor of the small building, but there was no one in the room. I walked in then and took in the surroundings for myself. There was a single black barber chair sitting in front of a mirror, and a stool in one of the corners. That was it. In a separate corner, there was a staircase going up. Nathan Drake stepped up them very quietly, and I followed. We both reached the second floor and realized there was no one home. The second floor only included a twin-sized bed and a desk. Just as we were about ready to head back downstairs, I heard a noise. Nathan Drake paused and pointed towards the bed, which I proceeded to hide underneath. I could hear heavy footsteps pounding up the staircase. Nathan pointed his gun at them and pulled the trigger when the person reached the second floor. The gun clicked. Nathan Drake swore under his breath as he realized he'd forgotten to load his gun with ammo. The man stepped into my view. He looked just like Sweeney Todd in the movie, except his hair was a lot greasier, and he had pimples sticking up all over his face. He came forward and grabbed Nathan Drake and handcuffed him before leading him downstairs. I heard Sweeney Todd push Nathan into the barber chair. I reached down to my hip and pulled my gun out of its holster. I checked to make sure it was loaded and crawled out from under the bed. I crept down the staircase and came to the floor to find Sweeney Todd with a razor to Nathan's throat. He saw me and turned. I aimed my gun at him. "Drop it, or I'll kill him," he said, smiling. His teeth were a disgusting dark yellow, and I could smell his breath from where I was. It was at this moment that I seemed to gain some sort of superpower. With great speed, I lunged forward and pushed Sweeney Todd away from Nathan. I reached down to the handcuffs binding Nathan's wrists, and I broke them. Nathan Drake stood up out of his chair and turned towards Sweeney Todd. Sweeney Todd stood up and pulled another razor out of his left pocket. It was at this moment that I saw an epic fight between Sweeney and Nathan. Nathan Drake using his fists, Sweeney Todd using his razors. It ended with Nathan Drake handcuffing Sweeney Todd and leading him out of the building. It was at this moment that I woke up. I immediately started writing down every detail of what had happened in that dream. So, I hope you enjoyed listening to this one as much as I enjoyed telling it. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video and want to hear about more of my dreams, please subscribe, as I'll be posting a couple more soon. Goodbye.